Morrison Knudsen Corporation was a worldwide civil engineering and construction company, with headquarters in the western United States. Boise, Idaho.M-K designed and constructed major infrastructure throughout the world and was one of the consortium of firms that built Hoover Dam, the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge, the Trans-Alaska Pipeline, and many other large projects of American infrastructure. Founders. M.K.'s origins date to 1905, when Harry Morrison met Morris Knudsen while working on the construction of the New York Canal in southwestern Idaho. Morrison was a 20-year-old concrete superintendent for the Reclamation Service. P. Knudsen was a 40-something Nebraska farmer with a team of horses and a Fresno scraper. The first venture together was in 1912 on a pump plant in nearby Grandview for $14,000. They lost money but gained experience. In 1914, M.K. earned some revenue when they constructed the 3 Mile Falls Dam in Oregon. For several years the firm built irrigation canals, logging roads, and railways. They incorporated in 1923. The year gross revenues topped $1 million. M.K. reached a significant milestone with its joint venture in the construction of Hoover Dam in 1932–35. World War II. During World War II, M.K. built airfields, storage depots, and bases throughout the Pacific and built ships along the American West Coast. Japanese forces captured 1,200 workers, including many M.K. employees, stationed on Midway and Wake Islands in late 1941. After the war, M.K. expanded into a variety of foreign construction fields. Post-war projects. M.K. won contracts for many domestic and foreign Cold War projects. It built the locks on the St. Lawrence Seaway, the Dew System, Minuteman missile silos, NASA's Kennedy Space Center, and over 100 major dams. Morrison was featured on the cover of Time magazine on May 3, 1954. The article claimed Morrison was the man who has done more than anyone else to change the face of the Earth. From 1962 to 1972, M.K. worked in a joint venture to serve the United States military as civilian contractors for infrastructure in the Vietnam War. The group was called RMKBRJ and included Raymond International, Brown and Amp, Root, and J.A. Jones Construction Company. M.K. Rail. M.K. was also involved in the construction of rail projects such as the Bat Extension and the single-track Apoera-Buckeyes Railway in Suriname. M.K. built the Caltrans California cars as well as other rail passenger cars and light rail. It also built locomotives, originally under its own name and later under subsidiary M.K. Rail from 1994 to 1996, such as the MK500C and the F40PHM2C. M.K. also rebuilt locomotives, including the 4 Delaware and Amp Hudson Alco Par. Its Australian operations rebuilt a number of locomotives for both private and public operators. M.K. was also one of the largest passenger rail car builders, located at the former Erie Railroad shop in Hornell, New York, overhauling and rebuilding many New York City Transit subway cars including R26, R28, R29s, R32s, some R36 World's Fair cars, R42s, R44s, and R46s. It also overhauled NJ Transit's Arrow I-Series cars, converting from electric MUs to push-pull coaches, and SEPTA's Silverliner 2 and Amp 3 Series electric commuter cars. The CTA 3200 series and Metro North M6 Cosmopolitan cars were built by M.K. in 1992 to 94 and 1994. financial difficulty. By the 1990s, Morrison Knudsen had been led into some risky non-core areas by Boise native William G., who became CEO in 1988 and was ousted by the board of directors in February 1995. M.K. had announced a loss of $310 million for fiscal year 1994, and a leak of an intended G resignation drew broad media attention, which resulted in G resigning earlier than originally planned. The company had been in financial difficulty for several years and declared bankruptcy that same year. It was purchased by Washington Group in 1996 for $380 million. The locomotive manufacturing operations of M.K. were divested and are now part of Wabtec. The Hornell rail shops are now an Alstom facility. Additional growth. For several years after the 1996 merger, the company continued as Morrison Knudsen. Growth by acquisition brought it into the top tier of American construction firms. In 1999, M.K. acquired the government services operations of Westinghouse Electric Company, becoming a science and technology services leader. In 2000, the company expanded its market leadership by acquiring Raytheon Engineers and AMP Constructors, which owned Birmingham, Alabama-based engineering giant Rust International, to produce one of the largest companies in the industry. Following the acquisition, the M.K.'s corporate name changed to Washington Group International in July 2000. Issues with the Raytheon acquisition caused WGI to declare bankruptcy in 2001, virtually eliminating all shareholder value, but later successfully exited it.